Hello, Emmanuel. Jack. Stefan. Good for you, Jack. Sid. Hello. Jordan. Hello there. Remember, guys, just read the messages I've put on top so we'll all be at the same page. Thank you, Jack. Jack says, how are you feeling, Mehran? You're looking well. Thank you very much. I felt better 10 minutes ago because I hate it when I become lazy and take convenience over what is really the best path. You see, I'm trying to not have sugar, and I don't crave sugar, and it's not good for my age anyhow. So I have these protein bars, you know. In the morning I have one avocado and maybe a couple of egg whites, no egg yolk, and possibly maybe some walnuts, some nuts, and then my protein shake, or just a protein shake. And this time I was lazy and I had one of these protein bars which has, I took a bite off of it, cut the sugar out, the glaze on it, cut it out. I took a bite, then I got pissed off at myself, which I gave into convenience rather than making my vegetable protein shake, which has no sugar. So, you know, I stopped it, didn't eat it, but I'm pissed off. Sometimes I get really hard on myself because I really value my life. I love this life. And there's so much things to do. And I hate not to, you know, take good care of what the body needs and the mind needs, and sometimes you gotta stay away from sugar. I was lazy, I gotta punish myself. So the short and long of your question is, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Timmy says everyone like already. That was good. 10 people here, 10 likes. That's good. Stefan says 25, male, Connecticut. I think CT is for Connecticut. And Jack says, I'm looking bigger and lean month by month. Good for you. Good for you. Eat clean and eat healthy. Eat enough, not too much. We'll all have a better chance. Lifting weights is therapeutic, Jack says. Yeah, yes. And I'm kind of disappointed because I've been going to the gym 4 or 5 nights a week. Minimum 3, but often 4 or 5. And then after my weight training, I do cardio, which consists of, you know, 30 minutes of fast walk and intermittent running. And then there is a machine there that you can lay on it and then, you know, kind of bring your knees up to the chest and back and work on the core. But for the past week and a half, even though I didn't do any weird movements, my knee is a bit weak. So I've been kind of, you know, taking care of it, not doing the running part. I still do my weight training, but not the running part or the anything involves with the knee for the core muscle and all that. That kind of, you know, cramps my style. I gotta keep that, because, you know, at my age, again, you need to exercise more to make sure you're fit and keep the blood pressure, you know, naturally healthy and all that. So anything that stops me from doing what I want to do, I have to go around it, find other ways. All right, let's get to some questions. How about that? We had our chit chat. And so the first one would be Stefan. Stefan says, 25 male Connecticut. Thank you for observing that protocol. Where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman, your gender. So he says the ex came back and we have been trying to work it out. But I still seem to want other women now that the chase is over and I have her back. I don't know what to do. It's been awesome. You're 25, and how old is she? See, give me the information as much as possible in your questions, guys. It helps me out, like how old you are, how old she is. Because I don't remember the stories that we talked about before. So every time is like new. Unless you guys think that I'm, you know, I'm reviewing all these while we're not talking. To remind myself. Stefan says, no. Where is Stefan? Stefan, how old is she? Come on, come on. Stefan, how old is she? Respond. All right, we don't get a response from Stefan. So anyhow, at age 25, obviously you think, and rightfully so, that you haven't had enough pleasurable experiences with women, and obviously you're looking around and you're beginning to see that you think differently than when you were 19, which the first woman that would sleep with you, you would think that's the right choice, and that's the only woman you want. That's all, everything is summed up in her, whatever you're looking for in a woman, and you think that there is no better, and why waste time, let's get married with her. But having gone through a few breakups, or one or two, or you know, met other women, and you begin to see that it wasn't an anomaly. It's a natural thing that, you know, men and women would end up hitting it off on certain level and then become intimate, and it's possible. It's not like it's an anomaly, impossibility. Now you have a girlfriend, you're sleeping with her, therefore that's good enough, that's the one you want, and you got to get married with her, and that's the best in the world. Later on you see that's not the best in the world. Why? Because at the age that you met her, 19 or 18 or 20, you didn't know much about yourself, let alone knowing about her, let alone knowing about what kind of woman you want. All you wanted was to follow your program, to be with a woman. That's all. That was all the expectations you had at that age. But later on, you begin to experience the world, see the challenges, see what's needed, what you have to make out of yourself to make a future for yourself. And through that development and growth, you learn that there are certain things that you expect, not just willing to settle with it. Your expectations from everything goes up, including from a relationship, a woman that you are seeking to be with. When you were much younger, the only expectations for you to qualify a woman for you to be with was if she was a female and she could sleep with her, she would smile at you, she would like you, that's it. But now, over time, you've grown, you've seen what the world is all about. Now you want certain qualities over and beyond the femininity of the woman, the gender, that you're attracted to. Now you're expecting compatibility and consciousness, certain morality, certain knowledge, certain education, certain expectations that you never knew that you would expect that from your partner. All because you've grown yourself. You're beginning to know the world and life a little bit better, through which it reflects on you, and you begin to know yourself a little bit better. What you are, what you have made out of yourself. You have increased your value in your own mind. You've accomplished certain things. You feel more confident. Therefore, now you want a little bit better quality of a partner, which would meet your expectations according to how you're growing. So now you're beginning also to see that all of that have to be part of the package that you're looking for. And you realize that when you find some of these in a woman, that's not the only woman that could be endowed with that could have all those credentials. There are others, because now you have met other women, and you see each one are special in their own way. So you're not that scared about losing one. That's one. The other point is that you now feel this way because you have her. When you didn't, you were running after her. And, regardless of what your desire was getting the best of you, and you were following her because your desire was seeking the pleasure. Through fulfilling your desire, you wanted to arrive to that pleasure, through which your desire is fulfilled, and from that your ego is fluffed. But now that you have her, you're beginning to compare her to what she is and what's out there. And the question is, it's not like you have somebody better out there, it's just that there could be different characteristics out there that you could meet, and you also know that you will grow, and therefore your expectations will change. Therefore this girl may not end up to meet the expectations that you will have tomorrow. All of that means what? Don't expect a long-term forever thing. Just do your best, be a good boyfriend, and if you guys eventually, after a year or a certain amount of time, you see that both of you are interested in exploring further, and you haven't really gone to the point to be able to figure out that you want to settle with that particular relationship, then you separate. But until then, be a good boyfriend, and she's obviously coming out to work it out with you. And just because you have something, that doesn't mean everything else is lining up for you either. And that doesn't mean just because you attain something or you have something, that something which used to seem so valuable to you has lost its value. It's still as valuable before, or as whatever it was before, but your having it or not having it make you think differently about it. And you shouldn't let that happen. If you like her and you were pursuing her, now that you have her, see, was it because you didn't have her, or was it because she had good qualities? Was it because you were selfish and you didn't want to wait and go and find somebody else because you wanted sex and intimacy and your order back and mechanical process and all that? Or is it because, she's just wonderful? Either way, there was a reason for you running after her. And now that you have her, don't disrespect her. And don't turn out to, have a big head Oh, I have her, therefore she's not much. Why? Because I have her. What does that mean? That means I don't believe enough in myself that when I have something, then that something must not be real, something extraordinary. Why? Because I'm not extraordinary. That's what you think of yourself. You think you're not that hot. Therefore, now that you got something that you really wanted for the past while, you think that she's not hot because you don't believe enough in yourself. So if you can understand all these things that are what I said, then you can see, are you being respectful to her? And if you're really not keen about her, why were you following her? Or hoping, not following, but hoping to get back with her? Now that you are, you think, so it's all about your own way of looking at it, not about her qualities. Her qualities are the same when she was with you, when she left, and now that you guys are back together. So it's all about you. Do you know what you want? And do you think just because you're getting back together, that means this is forever? This is not forever. So I think you can see if you guys can bring more positivity into your lives, help each other grow, and when that growth is kind of, you're overgrown your growth together, then you can decide if you guys want to be separated or not. Until then, listen, there is no shortage of girls. You can sever your relationship with this one and go with another one, and then you will find that that one, which from the distance was so enticing and so all shined up, she has her own issues and she has her own differences with you. Divisions and conflicts are existing between you two also. Just the fact that you can see your divisions and conflicts with this one doesn't mean that there's not going to be division and conflicts with the next one, just because you don't know what kind of divisions you will have, what differences you guys have, because you don't know her. Therefore, you don't know there's any differences. All you know is that you're attracted to her physically, and you think, just like before, this attraction means she's perfect, because you don't know anything else about her. You're just drawn to her due to your genetic code. That's your program. But don't be fooled. When you get to know her, there will be other things that she has in her mind and she sees fit for herself, and you don't. There will be differences between you two. So don't ditch this one for the promise of something else that you don't even know. So my suggestion is, don't be fooled. Don't just simply look at the colors and the shine and the snapshot of somebody's life that she's so pretty and so smiling and confident. Each person has their own challenges in their consciousness that you cannot see from the outside until you get to know each other thoroughly. And this one seems like you guys been having a story and a history, and now you guys are coming back to kind of try to work it out. So try it out. Try to work it out together. And don't forget, anything else that seems so promising right now has its own hidden problems. So do your best, be a good boyfriend, try to resolve things, and see how long it lasts. When you guys outgrow your growth together, then you guys will decide to go somewhere else. Otherwise, it'll be the same story. The only thing you're gaining is variety of sexual experiences. If that's worth what you will be learning in this relationship through the next year or so, or however long it lasts, then I don't know what I was saying. Okay, just stick it around and just see how you guys will do. And if after a while it wasn't, you guys outgrow the growth together, then you can decide to maybe look elsewhere together. Decide that together. Communicate. Always communication will be helpful for the longevity and quality of a relationship. And it's okay if you guys didn't want to be together after a while, but you're age 25. You're going to be changing your mind, both of you, every few months, because there's so many things lacking in your own accomplishments that you will blame it on the other one, and you think you can recover all those feelings, or you can replace them all with another kind of pleasure. You will think another girl will bring you to the stage that you wanted to arrive in life, and she may think another guy. But it's all within yourselves. It's a personal thing. If you haven't accomplished yourself good enough, you will always look for answer in somebody else. Yeah? Provided that you guys to begin with were proper match, proper mentality, compatibility in your consciousness and lifestyle and, you know, approach to life and all that. If that is not there, forget it. But if that, everything I've said is provided that all these things, you know, compatibility on the consciousness level and your morality, on your outlook in life and all that is similar enough to stick it. Otherwise, go on to the next. All right. That was a long-winded response. Stefan, I'll send the bill to you later. Bobby Necro. So I guess we must be prepared due to the experiences past. There must be some troll eventually hitting in, so be aware. I should be aware too. Quickly we will put him on timeout, then we will block him as fast as we can. But I guess we should expect, because last 2 times we've had some of these things infiltrating. All right. Bobby Necro says, M, male, 38 UK. Thank you. Very well put. When I hear about my ex-wife spending family time with her new partner and my son, it cuts deep. Yes, it does. Especially as I sit here alone in my house. I feel like something is lost. Yes, you will feel that. But in fact, if you think physically about life, you're right. But if you understand the totality of life, that you are not just about your physical shape, you are in touch with your son through your energy all the time, 24-hour a day. Just the fact that you know where he is, the energy runs through, you can feel him. And then you bring more positive physical involvement in his life by always being there. Text him, talk to him. If he's not old enough, talk to him every day. The chance that you get on the phone or however it is possible, be involved, be the best father you can be. Just because she has gone haywire and decided to sever the family life when a child is still young, but that doesn't mean that you should give up on the child. You can give up on the relationship. That's all right. People have different understanding of life, understanding of themselves, and they make decisions, and it's all because of their lack of understanding what the whole business of having children is all about. It's not about being like, you know, cats or dogs and having the litter and then separating yourself. Even they are having a hard time doing that, let alone human beings. It's about commitment to that child. But once it happens, because human beings are not perfect, they go through a different stage of life and they relinquish their responsibilities to the advantage of their own thinking and their own preferences in life. And it happens to the best of us. So what you need to do is to understand that is part of what human beings' qualifications or lack of ability to understand the proper execution and attending to the responsibilities are. Because not all of us are 40-year-old when we have children. Many of us have children when we are very young. And whether it's a boy or the girl, the man or the woman, at that young age, they do not really understand life and their responsibilities and their role as a father or mother. Therefore, they make a mistake. They do not resolve their situations with their partner and they sever the relationship. Part of ego, part of selfishness, part of lack of understanding what this marriage life or having children is all about. And they certainly get lost in the way of thinking life is passing them by because of incompatibility between the two, and they prefer to sever the relationship due to the way they think, which most often, many of them, a few years later, they will feel that they made a mistake. They preferred their own lack of understanding or their level of understanding over the responsibility and the meaning and the quality of a marriage or a life, a family life with children. So they make a decision that severs the relationship. But who is going to be most important in this decision of one of these two so-called adults is the child, is the children. So I don't care what the reason was, selfishness, stupidity, lack of foresight, or real logical and reasonable reasons or real reasons for such decision of separation. I don't care if it was legitimate or not. What must be fully focused by each parent after a breakup is focus on well-being and welfare of the children. How they would feel confident, how they would feel love is around them. So I don't care what the relationship has been or has caused this. Whichever couple who have children together and they decide to sever the relationship must, and I say that again, must put their personal differences aside and understand the focal point and the most important thing here are the children, and they must create an environment which would be a positive, loving environment so the child at least will not feel that there is any danger, there's any big change. The father is still there, involved in every step of the way. The mother is still there, and the mother and father will help each other to be involved in the child's life, purposely making sure, arranging, synchronizing everything. I don't care if you've got boyfriends on the side or girlfriends on the side. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't mean anything. All it is important is that you guys make sure to cooperate, organize, synchronize, that there will be love around your child by you, the parents, and you guys will be involved in the life of the child, attend school activities, share the responsibilities, have times together, even if it's not both of you at the same time, but with the child, that he would feel mom and dad are actually on good terms. Never be crossed in front of the child with each other. Never fight in front of the child. Let the child feel, even though you guys are living on separate places, different places, but mom and dad are still there. So he or she, the child, would feel safe. Bring that feeling of psychological security, physical security, making sure that the boyfriend, the new boyfriend, is not spending alone time with the child because you don't know who the fuck he is. And the father and the mother, and the father don't bring other women in front of the child. You don't know who the shit she is. This is not the child's mother, and that boyfriend is not the child's father. So if you guys respect these things, you can have your personal life when the child is with the other parent. Then the other one can go out and have on the date and whatnot. And you can also have your cohesive family decisions to be made for the benefit of the child. And the child will feel confident, happy, loved, and protected that, yeah, parents are not living together, but they both love me and I love them both and they're both cooperating and I'm safe. That must be your first and foremost concern after any breakup with the child involved. Now, so having said that, that means you're not alone. Your responsibilities have not flown away. You're still there and you're involved and you should stay involved. And if there are, laws that regulate such situations in wherever you're from, make sure you both have joint custody. The child should not be deprived from being in contact with his or her mother or his or her father. And these should be considered rather than the selfishness or egoistic decision makings of parents after breakup, trying to show that, and then don't start treating the child in the way of scoring brownie points by giving into decisions that is not supposed to be done, but you give in, you buy stuff, and you try to pull the child towards you to score votes. Don't do these things. These are stupid. Be honest with the child, be good to the child, show that you guys are still family, and make efforts, because it wasn't the child's decision that you guys fucked it up. It was both your faults or one of you decided to do that. So do not think the child shares that decision of yours. Respect the child and respect each other. All right. Let's go and see what Sid, hello Sid, says, I have some questions which have been bothering me. We'll try to keep them short today. Out of nowhere, when working, I started crying and started missing my girlfriend. Is something wrong with me? No. No. Often it happens when you're happy. You see that you are making positive advances towards what you want to accomplish, and if things are going along well, you can see a good future, you can see success, you can see fruition of the projects you're involved, and all of that suddenly brings to your mind that you wish you could share this, and through this sharing you would have shown how valuable you are. The fact that you're being successful and see importance of you, you wish that that other person who decided to sever the situation also would see the value in you. That is one of your motivations, that you want to share all that with her, and the fact that you just wanted to share good news with someone, and that someone you would prefer to be your ex-girlfriend that you knew, and then you can't do it, and that pisses you off. That makes you feel lonely. But hey, you're doing everything you're doing for your real wife, is waiting out there in life somewhere, hoping that you will get over all this nonsense, hoping that you will stop thinking that the one who chose not to be with you is worthy to be with you. That real wife of yours that is out there waiting for you to meet. She doesn't even know it, but you don't know it, and you don't know it, but you both know that there is someone out there that you will marry. And that person is hoping that you will be strong enough not to give more value to someone who has chosen not to be with you, for the reasons that you and I both know, which they were all bullshit reasons. The shortcomings of your girlfriend decided that she made the decision she has, which is more stupid than anything else. But that is not the issue that is facing you. The issue that is facing you is for you to realize that she doesn't deserve to be with you. And the woman that is out there in time, waiting to meet you, is hoping that you will be strong enough to focus on building your character and your projects and your future for you, for her, and your children, and not fuck it up and sacrifice it to some kind of a woman who had her chance but messed it up, and you're still hung up on someone who did decide not to be with you, but you still think she deserves you? How could you think someone who decided not to be with you, which means she doesn't deserve you, to deserve you to be with you? It doesn't make sense. Therefore, tighten up your belt, get off your ass, stop crying for bullshit. But what you cried for was the fact that you probably wanted to share something good that you found, and your lack of confidence in yourself makes you feel confident when something good happens to your life, in your projects and your advancement through your studies, and then suddenly you feel confident, and you want to show that confidence to that idiot who broke up with you. You think your whole purpose of feeling confident would become more valuable if you share with someone who, for whatever reason, decided not to be with you. All of that means you still haven't grown up, and you still don't know your own worth and value, and you're seeking your worth and value in the opinion and affirmation of the others of you, which is totally wrong. You should seek that validation from within, from you, from your own efforts, and the way that you're so strong and focused on achieving what you want to achieve, because you're doing it for your future and your future wife and children, which is definitely not going to be the one who had her chance and decided against it. Why would you ever put yourself down enough to want someone who has, for stupid reasons, have decided to forgo that chance? So, shape up. Shape up, and for the love of your future wife and respect to her, stop crawling for this one. That will be very disrespectful when you, disrespectful, it's tongue twist, when you find and meet your future wife. You will think about these days and you say, how shameful that I actually allowed my emotions get the best of me, and I have my wife in front of me, my real serious girlfriend, and I actually gave a time of the day for the one who didn't choose to exercise her chance by me thinking I'm lonely just because I'm becoming successful and I wanted to share it with someone. Move on, Sid. These will not bring the bread. These will just keep you down. Don't allow things to keep you down. I don't know if I shared with you guys a theater that I played when I was, I think, grade 4 in elementary school. It was a big lesson in there. Took me years to know what that role was and what my line meant. Here it is. I want you all listen to it. Grade 4 elementary. All the parents are sitting. The setting is that we are on a stage, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 people in that scene. One guy sitting on a throne with the thingy that was, whatever it is that the kings put on their head, on his head, and representing life. So life, with all that presence, is sitting on the throne. And then one comes in. Nobody else is on the stage. Only life is sitting on the throne. So one guy representing Mr. Fortunate comes in, goes in front of life and kneels down. But before kneels down, he utters, "Life, you took me hundreds of steps up. You gave me everything I wanted. I salute you and I kneel before you. So he kneels. He goes out. The next guy comes in and says, life, you took me hundreds of steps down. And I am at your mercy. I kneel in front of you. And he kneels in front of life. Then he leaves. Then I come in. My role was Mr. Fortunate and Unfortunate. So I said, life, you took me hundreds of steps up and hundreds steps down. You have to kneel in front of me. Think about it. 10-year-old child was given this role. First one, Mr. Forger, had everything. Kneeled because he had everything. The other one, he had all kinds of sufferings. Kneeled because he was suffering. The other one had good fortune and bad things in life. And he said, you, life, has to kneel in front of me. That's the message. There are ups and there are downs in this life. We all share it and we all experience it. Child or not, man or woman, old or young. Your motto and what you will have to focus on would be, that is part of life, but what I choose, where I will be, and who would be my master is up to me, and that would mean I am my master. Life will have to deal with me, not me dealing with life. Meaning, I will have all these challenges taken face to face, point blank. I will go as far as I should go to attain what the lifestyle that I choose, not what life chooses for me. So the life has to bend and kneel in front of you with the challenges that it throws at you. It took me 30 years, probably, to figure what I played that day, because I didn't really think about it much, but eventually, one day I did. And it was a sweet day to understand. You must be in command, not what is thrown at you to become victimized or subjected to and roll down and kneel down and wait and hope for somebody out there to do you a favor or throw you the bone. When you stop thinking of yourself as the victim, when you stop thinking of yourself that you have to be at the mercy of somebody else to design and draw the path of your life and the quality of your life, then you have come of age. Then you have come to be your master. I hope that makes sense to you guys. All right, next we have Jack says 6 days a week for 9 months straight. This is for life now for me. What is that? Ah, lifting weight. Ah, okay, good. Be always mindful of your training. Do it right, proper positions, enough, not too much, and clean eating. Tarthik Kumar says, hi sir. Hello Tarthik. It's the first time I hear your name here. It's the first time here. Guys, remember, if you have not liked the live stream, please do like it, because I need these likes to help us to be more visible on YouTube algorithm. And share this fact that we have live talks. I have put it up on my Facebook page. Remember the Facebook page link? There is a page that we have there, that Mind That Seeks Truth does have a Facebook page. And if you guys haven't liked it or you don't see it, you can see this, you can see the announcements right there. I put it all up here. Let me see. Let me share all that with you guys. So this is the info that you need in order to be on Facebook page or my site to look at the books I've written, or the consultations that you want to have on Skype with me one-on-one. These are all the links. I put it right up here for you. That was kind of messed up. I messed it up, didn't I? No, it's all right. It's all right. And then this is the second part. So you have the Facebook link. They're all a little bit one after each other, but you can figure them out. And then you have the site for the books and consultation to book. And you also have the YouTube's channel thingy. I think I might have done a bad job in separating them. let me try again. They all went together. All right, one more time. All right. That's one part, part one. And this is part 2, and this is part 3. There we go. Now you have it all. So let's go back to it's that I'm trying my best, really been attending conferences, working, but as soon as I come back to Estonia, especially Tallinn, which is where I live, I miss her every street. Yeah, of course, but you know, get over with that. You can't vanish the streets. You can't vanish the restaurants. You see, you're giving more value to your memory than the actuality of her. When you are thinking about these things, they are in the past. They're at the time that you too, it was worth thinking about. It was good things. It was a good feeling there. But that good feeling that still comes along with the memory of it, when you think about it, the actuality of her does not bring that good feeling anymore. It is like a teaser. That, remember, that's what I was. Now I don't want to be that. Okay, the hell with you, go away. If you're not bringing any good feelings for me, why would I even think about that the days in the old days that it was good? I should update my files. The files that I have of you in my memory are no longer up-to-date, accurate files. they bring an emotion with those memories, memory files. They bring an emotional file, that the emotional file belongs to when this girl was of a different character. Therefore, bringing those emotional files to the present, when the actuality of this girl is no longer with sharing that good character of the past, compatibility with you, it's unreasonable. Why? It's like you look at a container of a medicine that it has poison in it. But at one time, this same container had sweet in it. You know, candy in it. Now, in what eye are you going to be looking at this container now? The same container, the very same container, same shape, same color, very same, that had candy in it, and you used to have candy from it. Now, though, it has accredited information, scientifically tested, poison in it. So why is it that when you look at this, you do not actually recognize what's in it, and you only see it and remember, despite of what's in it proven on the label poison, you still look at, I want to eat out of this. Have you lost your mind? Not able to see the actuality, replacing the thought, replacing the memory of what this once was to what this really is, and messing up your life by not really recognizing that this, what you're holding in your hand, no longer possesses the characteristics that it once did. And if you judge it like that, you're going to end up drinking it and you're going to die. So, learn how to look at things the way they are. Whether how they used to be or not, it's of no consequence. How it is what you need to focus on and deal with. And how this is no longer good for you. Now, you keep wanting to think of it, this what I know is no longer good for me, but it is good for me when I think about it. Because when you think about it, you're thinking about the past. That is when this thing was candy. Now it is not candy. It is poison. You want to be very kind about it? It's shit. Not poison, but it's shit. You want to eat shit? Go ahead. Open it up. You want to face the fact. The fact is, you don't even want to face the fact what is good for you, what is not good for you. You want to pretend, just like what you're pretending in this bottle is not poison and still candy, you're pretending that you actually are okay with eating shit and think about things that makes you uncomfortable and unhappy, rather than focusing on understanding the reality and actuality of how things are, and with that power and that knowledge, move on. Respect yourself. Don't crumble down just because of your desire. Your desires, and everybody's desires, in most cases are stupid. You follow your desire for pleasure, that's when your reasonability flies away and stupidity comes in and your ego takes over, and the fact that you follow pleasure, follow your fulfilling your desire, you end up in a pile of shit. That's what you want? Go on, keep thinking the same way. But if you really see it as it is, then when you feel this way, you say, the shit with this feeling, that is a lie. I'm not going to follow that. And I'm not going to let it get me emotional. I'm going to see it for what it is, because if I really see it, it's shit, I won't look at it as candy container, and therefore I will not miss anything. And I'll be strong to comply on the path that I have to accomplish what I've set out to accomplish. That's how you look at things, especially in these emotional things. It is very hard for men to not remember the intimacy that they have spent with their girlfriend. Don't let that actually cover up and make you feel that your relationship with her is still the same. It's not. She's changed. She's no longer that girl that you could just be everything for her, do everything for her. She is an independent person. She has decided differently. And you, if you respect yourself, you must see this and decide differently than how you used to think of her. See her for the actuality of who she is, what she is, and if you guys are or are not compatible anymore, on those bases, with that knowledge, move on, build your life. Don't sacrifice the whole beauty of the opportunity that you have in this life with 300 million other possibilities were sacrificed for you to be born, and now you're fucking it up and kneeling in front of what? A desire for someone who doesn't, for whatever reason, desire you anymore. That's pity. If you think of yourself that way, you will always be at the mercy of somebody else to think you're good or bad or whatever. Grow a pair. Get off your ass and do your job. There are people dependent on you, your future wife and children, namely. All right. I trust you will be fine. In my opinion, from what I've seen from you, you're too intelligent to lie down and let these things actually affect you. You're a human being. You may get emotional sometimes. That's okay. But your reasoning, your intelligence, which I know you have abundance of it, will show you what you're doing is just masochism, not logical. And you're a man of logic. I've seen that in you. So fucking get off your ass and exercise that smarts and intelligence and logic that you have and build your life. All right. Let's go to Stian. Oh, have I missed someone here? No, I don't think so. We're up to date. Jack says, I've been deadlifting a lot recently. I do mostly compound movements. Yeah, good. Just make sure your positions are correct. And don't overdo it. Don't live with ego. Be patient. This is for fitness. It's not like everybody's looking at you. The whole world says, oh, is he going to lift this or not? No, just do it for fitness, not to make a statement. And enjoy it a lifetime. Don't buy into the bullshit that the others are doing, and I hope you're not using any steroids or anything like that. Do not think that getting big muscles through steroids and all that will give you certain wisdom or certain paths open because now you got big muscles. No, it's all about fitness. For fitness, you don't need to use any of that sort of juice. Those things in the long run is going to bite you in the ass. If you don't believe me, you can watch Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these other big people who have used steroids and see how they talk about it now. The people who actually used it and years later, they got into deep health challenges. Just don't. It doesn't worth it. If you want to prove to the world you're somebody by the size of your muscles, well, I've got news for you. You won't be able to keep doing that for long because there's a duration for the growth of the muscle. And by age, you will eventually lose that. But all the hazards that you've caused yourself by using steroids throughout the time to get those big muscles will stay with you. And they'll catch up with you. So, don't buy into the ones who are selling it and say, oh no, you'll be fine. Oh, listen to my muscle. Yeah, well, what about your heart rate and all that? I know there are ways that they do it this way and that way, they claim this way or that way, but they all eventually get health hazards and health concerns later. There's enough challenges in this world. You don't need to add to it. Just fucking understand life is not all physical, and you cannot convince or shine through your physical abilities only. It has to be a combination. So do your fitness physically healthy, clean, and live your life and build your mental abilities and ability to negotiate life as you go through it with wisdom, with knowledge, and bring that balance between your mind and body, and that would be what you should be focusing on. I hope that you have considered that, and if you're not, then you make sure that you will in the future. All right. Bobby Necro says, I feel uneasy with it and just want to be happy and have a fulfilled life. I like to love and be loved again, but things have changed. I'm not a teenager anymore. And time is limited. Well, time is always limited. That's not some excuse to do any shortcuts or be impatient or hasty or create anxiety for you. If that's the case, we all got to go die right now. Why? Because time is limited. So just do the right thing in all seconds of life as much as you can. All right. Stian says, 26-year-old male from Norway. Thank you, Stian. Says, good to see you and hear you're live on a Saturday night here in Norway. You're great, Mehran. You are more suave than James Bond. Well, Sean Connery was really James Bondish. Of all the James Bonds that came and gone in that movie, Sean Connery played it best, I believe. Jack says, is it normal for me to think of my ex at this festive time? Of course it is. I just had one short excerpt of the live talks about breakups and Christmas at Christmas time. You may want to watch that. Of course it is. Your memories come all the happiness, and you want to share the happiness. You want to share the jubilation. You want to be part of the whole big hoopla that is put out throughout the world, and we all want to be part of the happy part and have that girl on our arm and go and, you know, spend our money for her or whatnot. These are part of what men like to do. Or at least if it's not about spending money, it's to be together in the festivity, you know, do the things that you culturally know you do at this season. Christmas coming, everybody's happy and all the mood, the whole spirit of it, which I wonder why it cannot be all around the life, all around the year. That spirit, that friendly energy that people try to portray out of themselves only about this season. Why not the whole? But a little, you know, leave that alone. We can focus on the fact that, yeah, it's normal for you to feel that way, because you always want to feel, share the good, happy times with someone that you love, and then what better than, you know, someone that you're intimate with and all that. So it's, of course, it's normal, but don't be fooled by it. Just because you feel this way doesn't give you a reason to think that everything about that relationship was good. Think about why it broke up and, you know, how it turned out to, and then you will be fine. Just move on. Enjoy the festivity without having to have a trophy or in a relationship, or share it with your, I don't know, you know, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever your situation is. You see, the thing is, you don't have to have an excuse to live. Everybody's looking for excuse to be happy, to be lived. Just basics of life. Reasonable health, some good food to eat, some good water to drink, some safe place to sleep. That's it. The rest of it, I gotta have a girlfriend, I gotta have money, I gotta have this and that, I gotta be having a reason to be happy. These are all excuses. whether it's a car or a toy or a game or place to go. Excuses. Live your life without excuses of this sort. Then you are in control. You're the boss, not the events. You won't be having your hand out for some reason to find so you can justify being happy. You're in this life. You're breathing. You're healthy. Reasonably. We all have challenges. Got something to eat. Safe place to eat, to sleep. Something to drink. You're not in danger. That's it. The rest, you do your best. That rhymed, by the way. All right. Sid says, why do I only remember the good moments and not the bad ones? Because that's the way the brain is put together. We are programmed to forget the bad stuff. That's one of the human being's special abilities. Just imagine if you were supposed to have at the forefront of your memory, your mind, all the shitty things that went to your life. You wouldn't be able to function. Just the fact that a woman gives birth, the excruciating pain that she goes through for that event should be enough for her to say, never again in my life I would ever want to give birth to another child. That's what she would say, right? She should say, because it was the most painful thing anybody can experience. They say kidney stone is similar to that feeling of a woman giving birth. Even that is not comparable. So, but you all know that just about a month after, she's thinking about having another baby. She forgets that, because that's how the brain is put together. To forget about the bad things and only think about the good things. That's why we can survive. Otherwise, we would just die by the size of the negative things in the memory, bad experiences in the memory. It brings about all kinds of fear and anxieties. But we are set to forget about the bad stuff and only focus on the good stuff. And that's the Achilles heel when it comes to breakups. Because you want to bring the bad stuff so you can move on. But the brain is set in such a way to save you from it, so you would want to be having another relationship. But at least give you a chance to move on and then want to have a relationship. But it doesn't. It keeps bringing you. Why? Because we want the good stuff. Why? Because when you go into the memory, remember, mind finds security and is looking for security and finds security through order. And the order that when you break up, I cut it short, is broken between you and your life, the way it was with your girlfriend or with your boyfriend, whatever your situation is. And because that order is broken, the mind is not settled, doesn't feel secure anymore. So it goes into the memory to find the good stuff when things were in order and happy, in order to feel safe and in order to feel psychologically secure, and find that security through the order that it has its imprints and memory in the memory. Because it can't find it out here in reality because the relationship is broken up, the order is broken up, doesn't feel safe. So it keeps going into the memory to find those good memories. That's why only the good ones come in order to feel secure. But you got to remind it that this is fictitious, illusory. Don't get fooled. Go on. And that's why you don't remember the bad stuff and you only remember the good stuff. Because your mind is trying to find security through order, and it finds that order in the memories, and among the memories, the good memories brings the order. Never bad memories bring order. That's why all of you remember the good stuff of the broken relationship, because that's how your mind find security through order, and the order exists only through the good stuff of the relationship that is in your memory. So, knowing that, it should tell you, doesn't matter. And you shouldn't give a damn, because that is not a real order. That's an illusory imprint of an order that doesn't exist. Go for the reality and actuality of creating order, which means accomplish your life, your commitments to yourself, accomplish your projects, bring confidence, create a new mechanical process, create new order. Through the new order, your mind finds security. You'll be fine. That might take a bit of time, but you'll be fine. Don't settle for the illusory order that it finds through thinking of the good memories that you have stored in your consciousness. Don't be fooled by that. That is not trying to tell you that she was right for you. It just tells you it's seeking security through order, which it can only find at this time in the good stuff that has stored in the memory about the relationship. But that doesn't mean that the relationship is worth seeking or missing. That's all. Don't be fooled. Keep going. That's how your mind works. All right. Now, Chuanpa says, hi, my ex-girlfriend recently. No, I'm not going to answer. Remember our deal? I've written up there. Come on, guys. I need to know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, if you're a man or woman, and also enough information about your partner. So I'm going to move on until I see that. Any question that I see doesn't have that. In every question, just 3 codes. Where you're tuning in from, how old you are, if you're a man or woman, what your gender is. That's it. Simple. If you can't do that, guys, come on. That's not fair. I'm not going to keep repeating it. Jack says, I'm doing so much better without my ex. I wouldn't be lifting if I was still with her. Things happen for a reason. Good for you. Sid says, I would also like to know how to be nice and kind and still survive in this mean world. I feel out of place sometimes. I don't want to give up my kindness. I want to remain like that. You don't have to give up your kindness. Sid says, will I ever meet a nice, kind, innocent, loving, and caring woman again? Of course, but no one is innocent. What is your definition of innocent? Innocent what? Haven't slept with anyone? Is that what you mean by innocent? Why should you expect that? We're all human beings. You know, everybody wants to be intimate. So I hope that's not what you mean. And I know that's not what you mean. Innocent what? To think you're the world? Why? That's selfishness. You're not the world. They should have brain to know what's right, what's wrong, and be able to analyze things. So you expect, by innocent, I think you mean be a good person. And for that, my answer is yes, of course. You're not the only anomaly in this world that is a good person. There are people out in this world that still value properness, clarity, fairness, respect, humbleness, good values, honesty, trust, all the good things that each one of us want. So definitely there are people everywhere in this world. Just because you haven't met them doesn't mean they don't exist. And just because you haven't met them, that doesn't mean in the span of your life that is coming, you will not meet them. How can you judge what the future holds by what you can see in the field of vision at the moment, in the actuality of the moment? The actuality of the moment right now, that's the limitation of what you can be aware of. But there are many actualities every moment. As it arises, there are new information that is provided to you. Then you can see what that now, then, what that future now would entail and would bring for you. But you cannot say, just because I can't see anything in the now, therefore all my future nows will also have nothing in them because I can't see it. This is not a reflection of the future now. This is the now. The future now will each have its own characteristics and information and presentations. So you know how it is. Even in science is the same. You know, causality. So you haven't even caused or been affected by the causality of the future nows. So how can you expect all what the future nows could bring would actually be visible and noticeable now, which the causalities are nowhere near? In science, the same. When you want to test something, you effect and then you see the result of that effect. And yet you want to see the result of all those causalities that you have not created in that test, but you want to see them. Oh, isn't that stupid? And certainly from a scientist like you, that shouldn't be a question. So I brought your question to what you probably already knew. And so now, going back to your last questions, that I would like to know how to be nice and kind, because that is what you are here to preserve. You're here to first and foremost preserve your genes, your quality of the gene. That quality of the gene, part of it, among so many other information that's in there, is being nice, fair, positive, honest, trustworthy. That's you. That's the fragment. That's that piece of the puzzle that was needed in this world, so universe gave it birth to come in and find its place and affect the world in that quality. That is what you should be preserving all the time, regardless what the shit happens to you. That should not deviate you from your path. You should protect that, regardless of how many garbage is thrown at you or how many things you encounter that are not the way they should be. That should not mean you should let it dilute your qualities. And when you say survive in this mean world, well, listen, can we have a little bit of a point of reference to this word? Mean world. Think about it. You've broken up with a girlfriend, and you call this a mean world to the point that is devastating your life, rather than you actually learn from it and understand it's nothing but just part of the story and really means nothing, hurts nobody, and you're perfectly fine and capable of having a wonderful, happy life. Now, let me give you a little bit of perspective. What about the family that just woke up and the bombs were thrown and on top of their heads on their house? They were just at breakfast. And you know that these things are going on all around the world in different countries. There are places that are being bombed for no reason. They're just being bullied. They've been occupied. The world is asleep. And the famine going on, difficulties going on. And the security is not there, safety is not there. Places in the world that people are being abducted, killed, raped, and no food, no medicine, no shelter, diseases. Now, I wonder, which one would have the right to say their world is mean? Do we? That our definition of mean is that they ran out of latte in the local coffee shop? They didn't have the tea that I wanted? Or they had run out of hummus with so much amount of this or that olive oil? Is that what makes us feel the world is mean? That's the stage that we're at. But I think the ones who are under increasingly unsafe influences of all kinds in different parts of the world, that you can search and find out which parts of the world are being subjected to wars and bombs and bullyings and rapes and disease and lack of medicine and lack of food and all that. And if they have the right to call their world mean, or the rest of us, so let's put things in perspective. All right, let's move on to Timmy. Male 36 US. Thank you, Timmy, for that. Broken up for 7 months after 5-year relationship. You know, okay, let me read this and then. A beautiful 43-year-old woman is extremely attracted to me. I feel I need to heal before I get involved, simply to rebound, although she doesn't mind. Go for it. Go for it. 43-year-old woman is best time of her life. If she's been, you know, taking care of herself physically and mentally, she's learned a thing or two, benefits from wisdom, and you're 36, you don't have to marry her. That'll be quite a big age difference, and eventually it would have its own challenges. But if she's aware that you're coming out of a broken up relationship and you still haven't recovered, which is you should be, well, you know, I understand 5 years for, you know, okay, fine. But if you recognize the things that I said above and before this, getting to your question, it should help you to see that you should not wait. It doesn't mean that there's a correlation between the time of the relationship, duration of the relationship, and time it takes for you to move on. So it's, you know, what, you know, per year, it's like 3 months per year, so it's 5 years, so it should be, you know, 15 months before. No! If it makes sense for you, what is more at stake here is every moment of your life. Why do you want to spend it in the misery of thinking about why that relationship didn't go? Who gives a shit? Move on. Life is short. 5 years relationship, it turned out that way. Okay, the hell with it. Now it did. That's a fact. Go on. Why do you linger on for 7 months? For what? For what? What are you collecting? What kind of garbage is it that brings you actuality of some kind that you're hanging on to it, but she's already gone? If she can do it, you can do it. Simple. What are you loyal to? You're loyal to your memory. That's so goddamn stupid that we all fall into it. Become loyal to our memory. Egoistic, selfishness, full of ourselves. It's my memory, so it must worth something. No, it's worth shit if it's no longer doing you any good in actuality, in the real time. Understand that. Respect yourself. Love yourself. Love your life. Value it. Move on. Don't let another day keep you down by the thinking of the memory. Memory is dead, is not real. It doesn't do anything, good for nothing, cannot build anything on it because of it as causing, you know, as a base of anything. It's just worthless. When the breakup has happened, the memories are simply going to the pleasure points and bring you that pleasure feeling through the memory, which makes you think that the whole thing was good. No, it wasn't. Only parts of it was pleasurable, which in everything you can find pleasurable. That's why you were in it. If it wasn't pleasurable, you wouldn't even be in it. So it's natural for some parts of it and in your memory, because of what we talk, how the brain is functioning, keeps the fun and pleasurable memories and keeps thinking about it to find that security in the order that it resides in the memory of the good things. That's why you keep thinking about it. But doesn't mean thinking about it means it's got any value. It's anything. It's going to do anything for you. Keep on. Hold on to those memories. No. Throw them out. Shut them out. Garbage. Life is short. So if this beautiful 43-year-old woman is extremely attracted to you and she knows about where you are, appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity of this flower, get to know her, and who knows, you will tell her that it's until you find your balance again, so she will not be misled. One of the worst things to do is to mislead a woman, or anybody. A woman misleading a man, man misleading a woman, or misleading, you know, your loved ones. Now, Vivi says, hi Mehran, 30 male California. Hello Vivi. I guess you got my message that I will have a live today, and thanks for checking up. How to motivate yourself to study when you constantly get distracted by hatred, anxiety toward an ex-wife who betrayed you. How to achieve inner peace and focus on your studies. Well, you gotta see her for who she is. You're shocked because you actually have the image of that wonderful woman that you always used to admire of her. And you cannot believe that that image that you have of her in your mind could actually have done this. Once you update the image of her to what she is, what she has done, therefore she's no longer be seen in your eyes, in your mind, as the image you had given her, and see her as actually the quality that she is today, then you will stop being shocked by it, and you will not be angry, because you would say, that's all I can expect from such a shitty character, changed character, deformed, degraded qualities in her. But you still see her as when you guys were together and everything was lovey-dovey, and then you see what has happened, inspired, and you just can't believe it. Bring the proper shape and image of her into your mind, and you can see the actuality of her, and how you think of her would no longer shock you. And therefore you would say, you can't expect anything more from that kind of a quality of a person. Then you're no longer shocked or angry. You're angry because you said, I chose something, and therefore it turned out to be a lemon. Of course, lemon is good, but you know what I mean. So stop thinking that you're hating because she's nice and you can't believe what she has done. No. You understand that she's not nice. She's not the nice girl that you used to think of her. Therefore, knowing the actuality of her, you can't expect anything less or anything different than what she has done. Bring her level to what she is, rather than still seeing her and giving her this kind of a high level. Don't give her that. How to motivate yourself to study. And for studying, you simply must translate the benefits of what you're doing to your life. Translate, interpret the results you will acquire from your studyings for your quality of life in the future. What does this, what you're doing, will mean to your life? When you focus on this and its benefits, when you're accomplishing it, towards the quality of your life that you're trying to accomplish and achieve, versus the thinking and anger and anxiety about her, what does that do to your future? You will see that that will stop you from doing the study thing that you have interpreted to be beneficial and detrimental to the well-being of your future. So the first thing it's going to do is going to stop you from doing something good, which is going to be, it's still capable of hurting you. Don't give it that power. Take that power away by saying, I don't give a shit about you, the anger, the anxiety, because my first and foremost thing on my mind is to get rid of you so I can focus on my studies, because my studies means my future. And I'm not going to let you destroy it, this thinking of anger, destroy my opportunity to spend my time to study in order to advance my future. Well, in other words, I'm not going to allow you to have pissed me off now and ruin my future by not letting my thoughts to be clear and focus on my studies, which will enhance my future and help me to move on and have a better life. Because my whole intention is to have a better life, not to be stuck with this. But therefore, my thinking about you is going to deny me from that opportunity of being able to spend my time for studying and change my life. I'm not going to allow that. So therefore, that's my motivation, not to give a shit about these thoughts and understand that these thoughts don't have actuality. In other words, they cannot hurt you. These thoughts are only thoughts. They cannot hurt you. So you can't be anxious about it. You don't give a shit because devalue her. Therefore, you will not have any reason to be anxious. You're anxious to think that you've missed something. When you see her the quality as she is, you will not think you will missing something. You say, oh, I'm saved by not being with this kind of a shitty quality of a woman that ruined my life. I don't want to be with her. Therefore, the fact that I'm not with her, that's a happiness. So I'm not having anxiety by thinking that I'm not with her. She's fucking somebody else or whatever. You simply recognize that I don't want to be with her. I don't want to be in a relationship with her. Why? Because she's proven to me she's of no good quality anymore. Therefore, I'm saved. I'm happy that I'm not with her. Not that I'm anxious that I'm not with because she's with somebody else. No. Good riddance. Let her be with somebody else. I'm going to focus on my studies, finish it, build a better life, and find a more beautiful, more wonderful, more compatible, and in harmony with me woman. That's what your motivation is. When you translate what your studies will do for your life, and what these thinkings stops you from achieving what you want to achieve in your life through studies, then you will say, I have enough motivation not to give a shit about these thoughts because they're just thoughts. They don't mean anything. They can't harm me. And to be motivated to continue and focus on my studies because that is where my life is at. And that's my vehicle to move on from the shit that this relationship has brought for me. That's your motivation. So get angry for you thinking about that, not angry for, not being with that negative situation. All right. DKLK, 24 male Dutch. Thank you. My ex and I both feel insane amount of love for each other. Ah, good. We cannot imagine not seeing each other ever again, but still we did not work out. We will do a month of no contact. Thoughts? It's like you say, I love this chocolate so much. It's so delicious. We loved it so much, but now we're about to throw up, so we're going to stop eating it. Well, that's exactly why. You guys spend 24/7 probably, maybe together or overly showing, and it became hindrance. It became hard to keep it up. You couldn't be yourselves anymore. You thought if you're yourselves and not paying attention and expressing love toward each other, you're now sinning. You're now not, you're not doing justice to what you have conditioned yourself and each other to behave when you're near each other. That brought a little bit too much pressure, and it's not that you don't like each other, it's because you thought that every time we gotta express that kind of emotion, and then if we don't, it's a bad thing that we don't, and you were under the pressure to pretend, and then it became unnatural. And that's probably why too much chocolate. It's like too much of same good thing. Too much of everything is not good. Everything in moderation. Even if you're in love with someone, moderation. You smother them too much, you think what? They are the wise of the world? No. Everybody who gets too much attention gets a big head. And that big head makes them feel like, oh, the other one is not good enough. Because she's paying so much attention to you, or you're paying so much attention to her, she may think, oh, well, you're not good enough because I have this all attention. It's too much. Moderation. They're all human beings. Look at all the history. All these kings and leaders of countries, when they were all so extremely complied with and respected and bowed and kneeled and all that by the subjects or by the rest of the country, they eventually got a big head and they became a dictator. And once they became a dictator, they lost value for everybody else that was had selected him or her to be the leader of that country. So they started messing up by getting full of themselves. It goes the same way in everything. Everybody's a human being. You put a girl on a pedestal too high up, you can hardly reach her yourself. You're the one who put her up there. But she no longer wants to have anything to do with you because she says, oh, I'm so much higher than you. Well, I put you up there. Well, you shouldn't have. It goes into her head. The girl puts a guy on the pedestal and does everything, and the guy suddenly thinks, oh, I'm the stud muffin. I can have anybody I want. Therefore, I don't need you anymore. He says, listen. He says, no, I'm too good for you. This is what the nature of human being is. So everything in moderation. Balance. Balance. Don't try to solve your problems or shortcomings in life by throwing love at someone, because then that's a certain kind of a selfishness, which means you're throwing all that attention and emotion towards her because you want her to recognize it, so you will feel good. So you will be dubbed as a special person because you shower her with love. So it's not really that she worths that much love or you want to give that much love. It's actually you love yourself. That's why you're throwing all that in order to score point with the higher self of you that is judging your actions and your thoughts, or some God that you believe that is watching you, so you will be looking good in a good light in the eyes of your God or the eyes of your own higher self that you have created to judge your behavior and your thoughts by your thoughts, which is you yourself. So when you do all these things, you are creating a unnatural situation and create a certain kind of expectations for reciprocation of the one that you're pouring that love to, which then is a kind of selfishness from your own. So you really don't love her, you just love yourself and want her to recognize it. That's why you do all these things. I'm so good, I'm so good. See, I'm doing all these things. And that very action causes her actually to feel you're not good enough because you're giving me too much, and you also become selfish, and you actually lose the sight that you actually love her, but you start realizing that you love yourself more, and then you start thinking that, hey, if someone that I'm paying so much love to, maybe she doesn't worth that love, because you expect more from her then. And all that she's doing for you doesn't seem enough anymore because you think, I'm giving so much love, so she should do that. Then you become lazy, you become selfish, and she sees that, why are you not doing your parts of the life? Because you're giving love. So you're buying her affection and her services by becoming lazy and thinking that's the way for you to be exempt from attending to your duties of whatever it is in your life that you guys shared. So too much of everything is not good. Everything in moderation. So now that's what you guys did. Yeah, fine. No contact. Okay. But I don't know enough to be able to make judgment. But you know, it happens. In that age, it's mostly about lust. You don't even know about each other so much. So you think it's love, but it was all sex. You wanted to be with each other, kiss and make love and all that, and you thought that's what love is. Love shows itself in time through seeing each other in action in the real life situations, and how you negotiate life and challenges that you guys meet, how you support each other. That takes time. So that was lust, and that's fine. You know, we have expressions says that when the fire is so hot and glowing, it also burns faster and finishes. So you have so much wood, all dry, gives you so much heat and high fire, but at the same time, that high fire means what it is using to create that fire is going to burn up soon, and it will die because there's not much being, no more kindling is in there to keep that fire going. So when it's so hot and fiery, settle it down, simmer it down so it'll last longer. All right, Timmy says, US male 36, Mehran, I feel like most of us aren't looking for a wife, but the mother, lol. Yeah, possibly. You know, you guys still want to, at that young age, but you, Timmy, 36, you shouldn't be looking for a mother anymore. You should be looking for some decent girlfriend and no mother. But we all would enjoy that feeling of responsibility that a mother would have in our girlfriends. That it's not that you're looking for a mother, you're looking for someone who's as responsible as your mother was, to take care of the, you know, house, take care of the life, take care of food, take care of, you know, giving comfort to everyone, and having everything organized and cared for. These are the qualities that you hope that your girlfriend would have, and your girlfriend probably is looking in a similar way as some of the qualities of her father to be in you, by protecting, bringing about you know, the efforts that you can make, bringing the bread, doing your best to provide for the family, for the both of you. Of course, at this day and age, both are responsible for everything. You know, both are responsible for cleaning the house, helping with cooking, or buying or shopping, or, you know, providing for the relationship and for the house, and provisions and jobs, and bringing money. And these are all shared these days. But traditionally speaking, there's still this whole idea of a woman wants to see certain qualities in a man that she wouldn't necessarily want. She can do it, maybe she will do it, she'll put up with it, but she prefers if her man does it, such as maybe bringing more money, such as maybe working harder, such as maybe solving more of the problems, and similar things. Because regardless of what is politically correct or not, there's still that traditional role of man or woman in our consciousness, engraved in there. It's not like just because it's no longer politically correct, we've forgotten the connection with it. We've seen it in the movies, we've seen it in our parents, we've seen it in the history, we've read in the books. So it's part of our consciousness, and therefore expectation. So it is always palatable when you see a woman, your girlfriend, who does certain things that your mother used to do, and a girlfriend sees that you do certain things that her father used to do. So these are positive traits, and we don't simply want to suddenly turn the whole life into unisys. Everybody is everything, or expect to be. No, within reason. So on that note, that's basically what my answer is to your question, Timmy, or your comment. And Talal says, your videos and books helped me a lot during my breakup and heartbreak. Thank you. You're quite welcome, Talal. I'm delighted that you could enjoy the books and the videos. And Talal says, she was everything I want. Perfect match. If it's a perfect match, why is she not with you anymore? Can't be a perfect match. Stop that. Take that out of your head. Perfect match is the one that is actually matching you now and is with you now and is making effort for that relationship. There's 25 of you guys. I better see 25 like on this when I finish uploading it, the recording of it. So just get on with it for a second. Click on the like. We need that in order to let people around the world know that support exists and we're here. Now, getting back to Talal's question. So, and he says, perfect match. Just before our engagement, she said her attraction towards me disappeared when someone who liked everything about you, after they know you well, they leave you. They leave, you feel. You feel when someone raises you, and after knowing you well, they leave you, like you are nothing, from everything, for nothing. And nobody can cause you to feel you're something or that you're nothing. This is your understanding that you've put in your head, that your worth and value should come from other people's opinion. No, you should not give a shit what she thinks of you. If she thinks highly of you, okay, pleasant, thank you. But that doesn't mean that
because she thinks highly of you, you can be an asshole out there in life. You still got to watch it yourself, engage yourself, and see, measure yourself, see if you meet your expectations or the expectations of the society. Otherwise, it's just bullshit. She wants something. She's not being truthful to you. And if she leaves you or doesn't think you're much or doesn't praise you, that doesn't mean you become nothing. You still are the boss of measuring that according to what you expect from yourself, what your blueprint is, what your expectations of your quality of understanding and knowledge and how you negotiate life and challenges in life is. That's what tells you if you're something or if you're nothing, not her level of attraction or interest in you. And he continues, from someone who is very close to her, to a stranger, a very bad feeling. Yeah, of course, but you know what? That is not a shortcoming of you. That is her shortcoming. That means she's so shallow and unclear of herself that you actually dodged the bullet. You actually learned this before you got married to her. What if she would come into your life and suddenly turn into like a, what? Maybe she's just got split personalities. That's unbalanced. You don't want to have to spend all your life now asking her, begging her, proving to her, or causing her to actually remember how good you were, because now she doesn't give you that. That's a problem. You're so hungry, all of you, to get praised that when they give you all that, and now forgetting that continuously, you're willing to do every shit that is out there to do. Meaning when she stops giving you all the kudos and thinking of you, oh, you're the best one around, you do the best lovemaking, you do the best gifts, you do the best hug, you do the best everything. And then when she stops that, suddenly you think that you have become nothing. You're the same guy. You look yourself up and down, you still have the same things there and hanging in the same way. Nothing has changed, only that you were bought into that bullshit of her views about you is everything. Is their view of the life, view of the world. No, it's not. Your view is everything, and how you treat and interact positively with the society and the life as a whole is everything. Not just one fragment of her, which happened to be her, but you had sexual relationship with her, so that made you think that because of that intimacy, then she has to be perfectly satisfied in the way that she goes up and down. You should go up and down. Your value should go up and down too. No. It's her shortcoming. She wasn't balanced. She changed her mind. Therefore, she wasn't qualified, and you dodged the bullet. Go pray to your stars that this didn't happen 2 years from now. Then you would have been doomed, have children and all that, and she's gone wacko. Let her go wacko before. All right. Peter says sensitivity equals poverty and no respect these days, Mehran. And you see full of toxic people that take advantage. How to eliminate these people, how to see their traits faster. In order to see the reflection of things in life in the mirror, in order to see the correct reflection and representation of things that you bring in front of the mirror, what do you have to do? Clean the mirror. Clean the mirror, so the reflection of things would be accurate and clear. Then you can decide what they are sooner than later. When you ask me about that question, the answer is in you. It's not in about a technique to know these sort of negative characters sooner. It's all about how you clean yourself, meaning how you understand the relationship and the effect of your ego in encouraging you, your desire to demand fulfillment through achieving the pleasure that the desire is seeking for. If you understand the relationship between your fear, your ego, your desire, and the pleasure, you have lot more information that you need and you have in order to figure out the quality of what person it is that you're meeting with, the traits that you're looking for. Because you see people better if you have cleaned your own mirror so they reflect better. You become calmer and more perceptive rather than being covered up or clouded by your desire and pleasure and ego and fear, which clouds the surface of your mirror, and you can't really see the shit that they're bringing in because you are focused on your desire, pleasure, ego, and fear, which doesn't let you see the qualities they bring in clear. That's what throwing you out. Understand the relationship between all these things in your center. Then when you meet people, you will not meet them based on your need, your desire, based on the pleasure you're seeking, or fulfilling your ego, fluffing your ego. You will not try to fulfill your desire to reach pleasure, to fluff your ego through whatever it is you're interacting with them. Instead, you will meet them with needing nothing from them and not letting these elements cover up or foggy up your reflection abilities. Then they will reflect perfectly and you will see exactly what they are much sooner. It is no different than when you look at a pond and due to the qualities of the weather, it's choppy and wavy, the pond. The surface of the water is choppy and wavy. In that case, even a big object like the moon is not reflected properly and clearly on the surface of the water. So you look at the surface of the water and you see some light, some reflection. You can't tell it's the moon. You see, what is it? Broken bulb? Where is it coming from? All chopped up because the surface is choppy, does not reflect well. But if the same pond is all calm, no wind in the air, so calm and smooth that forget the moon. Even a dashing bird haven't even arrived on top of the lake. From the distance, its reflection is clearly on the surface of the water, and you can see what's coming. That's the difference. That's why you gotta have the surface smooth up, the mirror cleaned up, surface smoothened up, and your consciousness free from the clouds that's been created by the desire, pleasure, ego, and fear. And then you can see things from way out in the distance before they actually come and affect your life. All right. Which, of course, for that, you can go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and pick up the book, Me, My Psyche, and I, in which from chapter 32 to chapter 40-something, it's all about mind. And one big chapter of it is about meditation, how to calm mind. Understanding and learning that you create that calm pond, that it can reflect. When you be able to decrease the ripples of your mind, which the mind has ripples all day long, when you be able to learn how to decrease the mind's ripples to the infinitely imperceptible decreasing ripples, then the surface of your mind become calm to reflect things much faster and more clear. When you see it more clear, you have better information. Better information brings better understanding, better judgment. And better judgment brings better decisions. And that is the decision that you're looking for. Calm mind brings stronger life. So, now, having plugged the books, we now move to Larry Buglishvili. Oh, you've been away for a long time from Georgia, right? Oh, he's talking to Hakim. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. All right. Whisper. Oh, there is Hakim here. Hakim says, "Hi, Mehran. I've worked a lot on myself in this past year. I worked with my ex, and when we broke up, I started acting out by being involved with another co-worker sexually. How to stop? Hoping to get her back. She doesn't want to get back with me because of it. Move on. Move on. That had its duration. You don't want her. You just want to make a victim out of yourself and get pity and get attention. Fuck that. Be truthful to yourself. It didn't work out. What did you want to do? What to sit there in a convent, in a church, and pray because she left you? What? You're a man. She left you, and you wanted other friends, and you did. Okay, I'm not saying your choices of whoever you were with was right or wrong. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that the fact that you did what you did after breakup, it's not a hindrance. If she still doesn't want to come back to you, well, big deal. You move on. You cannot think that your life is fulfilled and complete only if she's back into it. Why? What made her an anomaly? Only your desire for her made it seem like as she's the only one you should go after, because you want to prove to yourself that by fulfilling your desire, you have fluffed your ego, because your ego says she left you, you're not good enough because she decided so. Well, can she decide how good you are or not? It is you who decides. You know? It is you who decides your qualities of life and who you are, depending on how you negotiate your daily life, not based on other people's opinion, whether it's a girlfriend or not. So, move on. Live your life. She's no anomaly. Move on. You don't have to get her back to feel like you're complete. No, you're complete. Live your life. But just make good choices, that's all. You don't have to go with this girl and that girl just because your girlfriend didn't want to be with you. Didn't want to be with you, too bad for her. She's not qualified anymore. She's disqualified because of her behavior and action or her choices. Doesn't mean that you should now go and, go with this and that just because what? Who is she to decide what kind of life you should, can, or cannot have? You should decide, not her. Whether she wants to be with you or not, that's her choice. But your choice should be you be balanced at all situations and make good decisions at all time as best as you can, regardless of what you're going through. Otherwise, if that's the case, anybody who's going through some kind of a hardship, they're going to start driving bad, they're going to start doing wrong things. What's the quality of life and what's the harm of it to other people? You're not supposed to harm other people because you're going through some kind of a challenge. You're supposed to be balanced regardless of it involves other people in your driving or in your behavior or in your relationships after a breakup. Still got to make the right decision for you. Now, Hakim says 26 male Canada, thank you. Whisper says male 32 California, she's 24. Thank you, Whisper. Complete information. I appreciate that. The only thing is missing, just to make it more complete, would be M32CA, she, F24, and where she comes from, where she's tuning in from. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of codes. Now, it says, my ex called me last night drunk to come take her home. She was with another guy. When I got her home, she said she loves me. We stopped talking because I told her I love her too soon. I love her too soon. We both have been with other people since we last spoke, but obviously we haven't got over each other. She's afraid of commitment, I believe, because of her daddy issues. Should I give it another shot? Yeah, sure, why not? What are you holding yourself up for? She wants to come back and you still like her, well, give it another shot. What's the big deal? She called me every weekend to come rescue her, even though we are dating other people. Yeah, okay, do it. That's all right. She's got the hots for you and you go on. Enjoy it. Don't expect Mother Teresa to be your girlfriend. A human being makes a mistake, now she wants to come back, and it's not you running after her. You both kind of feel like it. Okay, try it again. It doesn't have to be so, devastating. Oh, there is no guarantee that anyone is going to be a perfect match or going to last as long as it should. If there's reasonable to consider that it may work at least for a little bit while without much drama, okay, and when it stopped working, then you guys go on again. It's not like just don't have babies in the meantime. That's gonna be a little bit tough if you don't like each other, but you end up having a baby together. Then you gotta work it out, but work it out before these sort of thing happens. Okay. She even told me she saw us married within a years. That was a tricky answer. Within a years? So she put it in. Is that what she said? Within a years? Or within a year? Or within years? Or you just made a mistake in writing. Within a year's time. Oh, a year's time. Within a year's time. Oh, okay. Within 1 year time. Okay. And so I thought it was safe to tell her I love her. Yeah, you did good. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid. If you say to someone, if you say to your girlfriend you love her and she buggers out, well, that means good thing that you said, because she doesn't have the capacity to hold and safeguard your emotions. That means she's not sure of herself. She's one of those people that says, I don't want to belong to a club that takes me as a member. That means she wants you as long as she doesn't think that she can have you. As soon as you say that you love her, then suddenly she thinks, well, I don't think I'm much. So if he thinks I'm much, and he said that he loves me, therefore he must not be much. Therefore now I change my mind. I don't want her. I don't want him. These are people that you don't want to even have anything to do with. So don't hold back. It's okay. You think it's the right time, not too early, of course, but if it's the right time like this one, she said I love you first, and you said I love you too. What's wrong with it? Don't be afraid. And if she buggers off because of that, she's imbalanced, messed up. Don't worry about her. Move on. But there's nothing wrong that you did say it. In fact, don't hold back. Life is short. You love someone, say it. Who you're holding with? If you say you love her and then she moves on, I mean, she wasn't the right girl. Because you want someone that when you tell her you love her, she'll also say, I love you too. But if she doesn't, suddenly she thinks, oh, I'm too good to love this guy, then you got your cue that she's not too good for you to tell her you love her. You made a mistake. Or that was a good gauge to check her out, to see if, she's got the capacity. You see, to love is power. It's not weakness. The one who doesn't love you and doesn't reciprocate, okay, respect it. But the one who actually did love you, but when you said to her you love her and suddenly she whacked off, escaped away, that is the weakness of her. It's not the strength. It's not causing you to think you're weak and she's strong. No. You did the right thing. You were strong emotionally. You say you love her and she said she buggered off. That means she's weak because she showed you that she loves you with her actions, behavior, and interest. And when you said that, suddenly, what is that? What is it? Is it gone to her head or what happened? I mean, they have this, oh, so if somebody told me, I love you, then I must suddenly feel, I am too good for you. That's supposed to be my conditioning to react. Because you've seen all these bullshit in the stories and the books and the movies and the way to manipulate others not to be honest. Forget that. That's weakness. Go after truth. You think it's the time you say to someone that, you love her, she doesn't reciprocate, suddenly she changes. That's the good reason for you to know the truth and move on. Say, good thing I did say that, because now I know what she's all about. Weak. Once I told her I love her, he says, she backed away. Lol.
Who understands woman these days? They say the same thing about us, by the way. Destiny says, female, 27, Florida. Hello, Destiny. Good of you to join us. And Destiny says, my wonderful man left me. How is he wonderful when he left you? Once he left you, get out of the illusion. No longer wonderful. My wonderful man left me, and then 3 days later he said that he hasn't let go or doesn't really want to. But there is this feeling deep down, I know that I know that I know. Am I listening to a record? What happened here, Destiny? Is it my destiny to repeat myself? So she says, but there is this feeling deep down, I know that I know that I know the cycle will repeat itself. Oh, suddenly you know everything now. What if you don't know that what you know is not really what you should be knowing, and really is the same as what you don't know? You're confused enough? It means, what if you think what you know, that the cycle will repeat itself, is nonsense? Maybe it will, maybe not. Why do you call it a cycle? And let's see, how old is he? You say you're 27. How old is he? Could you please throw that in quickly? Remember, guys, I need to know your age, where you're tuning in from, your gender, and also your partner's gender and age, and where he's from or she's from. Let me see if she's responded to that. 34. All right. Let me pay attention to this question. So you're 27, he's 34, and he left you, and 3 days later he said that he hasn't let go or doesn't really want to. And you're wondering if this cycle will repeat itself. Well, you see, you're seeking psychological security, certainty. That's your problem, but it's not a problem. It's a normal, acceptable, reasonable expectations of every man or woman, especially woman, from a relationship, that they seek certainty, psychological security. That is a question you have in your mind. You think if he's going to be able to bring that certainty, or by having this happening possibly, it may cause you to think that the relationship that you're in may not end up being a long term, for you to help you create that psychological security and feeling of being certain about your future or what's ahead in your life. Forget about that ultimate state that you're seeking, the certainty and psychological security. Let him, let nature, let the relationship prove to you if it is going to follow a certain cycle or not. Don't create that happening of the cycle in your mind, because mind is designed to protect you. In order to protect you, it conjures up all kinds of negative stuff. Even if no one has ever left you, you will be worried about what if this guy will leave you? That is a question that is in everybody's mind in a relationship, that is because the mind is constantly trying to protect you by creating negative, is skimming, it's scanning everything in your life, trying to look for trouble. And if it can't find trouble,
in order to keep you alert, it will conjure up a scenario of trouble. Right now, the guy is a human being. You thought of him as something more than a human being, that you didn't expect him to change his mind or have some kind of a behavior which is oscillating. In this case, saying that he left you, he wants to leave you, and then finding himself lonely and realizing that he made the mistake because he had a certain high, thinking he's all that and he can have better because you were maybe so available to him, and suddenly he felt like he got you and what he got, therefore he doesn't want anymore. He wants something else that he doesn't got. That's what usually people think in relationship. And now he wants to come back. He's a human being. So what? Suddenly, that is for you a signal that this can happen again. Well, did you have a signal that this is gonna happen before it happened? No, you didn't, because he hadn't left you for you to think the cycle will continue, right? But it did happen. So the fact that you didn't know, it hadn't happened before, didn't stop it from happening, because it now did happen. He left you and he's not coming back. Now that it has happened, you think because it has happened, then it will happen again. But before it ever happened, it happened too. So just as you were also inclined to think before it ever happened that it may never happen, but it did happen, so the odds are the same that still at this time, that once it has happened, it may never happen again. And you could still have the same kind of a thought pattern as you did before it happened. Because before it happened, you didn't have this question in your head that there's a cycle that's going to be repeated. That there was no cycle because it had not happened yet. But even though there was no cycle, it did happen. So now that it has happened, it doesn't mean that it will happen for sure again, because the probabilities are the same. Before it happened, you didn't have this question of cycle being there, but it did. And now that it has happened, you have a question that it will happen again, but it may not. Just like a reverse of what was before it happened, that you thought you didn't have a question that it will ever happen, but it did. So now you have a question that it might happen, but it might not. The odds are the same. It's not about what your thoughts have witnessed or your thought is conjuring up. Your thoughts is going to conjure up negative things anyhow. So don't give it more value than it is. The guy had a feeling, just like you may have had a feeling to leave and come back, or some other girls may. It doesn't have a guarantee that it definitely will be that way. Maybe because he made this mistake once, he will make sure he will think twice before he would ever say such thing again. Maybe that was in his system that it came out, but now that it's out, he sees that, okay, I did that, which was in my mind, but I could see I can't hack it. I want to go back to her. We have that saying that says, if you let the pigeon go, if it comes back, that means it has its home. So there are two ways of thinking. I can't guarantee you that he will never do that again, and I can't guarantee you that he will do that again. I'm just saying life is short. If he's decent, if he's a good guy, well, sure, why not? And then if it's no longer behaving properly or treating you right, then you can decide then. Make your decisions based on actuality of things, not based on possibility that you have no proof that actually it will be the way that you're afraid it may be. Let it be, then call it it is, rather than it is because it might be, but it is not. Have I confused you yet? If I haven't, I will continue. But I think you got the gist of it. All right. Christos says, I've got a good one for you. Me and my ex split over 4 years ago, and I've never been able to move on. Christos, what happened to the protocol? Protocol is what? Where are you tuning in from? possibly Greece, because I'm just guessing from your name. Heraklios, Christos Heraklios, I guess it gives it away. So where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and how old your partner is, where the origin is, and all that. David, Male Dallas 23 Texas. There you go. Thank you very much. Hello Sandy. Hello dear. Sandy, my apologies. I haven't had the chance to go to the office if that package is from you, which I think my receptionist said that is from you. My apologies. I haven't gone, and the office is closed, I think, until, what is it? Today is 22nd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 20, until the 28th, if I can get a chance to go and pick it up. In any case, if that's from you, if I'm not mistaken, I appreciate it. I thank you very much. Very kind of you. You shouldn't have, and I'm thankful and appreciate it. But you didn't have to, of course. Saman says, love you. Hello, Saman. How are you, dear? Good to see you here. Of course, I can't see you, but I can see I can feel your presence. All right. Hope all is well with you, Saman Jan, and I look forward to hear good things from you. Peter says nothing. And another Peter says nothing. Gerald Joseph says, we only get together once a week. She says she wants someone without strings attached. All right. Cut the cord. You know, just no string attached. Just enjoy yourself. Juliana Owl. All right. I don't know if the name is right or it's a screen name. There's always string attached. Always, always. There you go. Let's see. I can't see your screen picture. Is it a picture of a woman? Yeah. So Juliana, and also, all right. So guys, remember our protocol, where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman, that helps me out. Stas Kaufman, guten Tag, says, hi, I broke up with my ex 2 weeks ago, but still thinking about her all the time. How can I stop thinking about her? Well, I have a request. The request is where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and how old she is. And we had another question up there which had no information, and I passed by, and he still hasn't completed that for me to go back to his question. So unless I have that info, guys, I will not, from now on, I will not keep looking for it. So where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and what your gender from you and your partner both is helping me to address the question properly. So Kaufman, bitteschön, give me that info, throw me the bone, give me the info, then I'll get back to you. Ayushman says, hello sir, how is you? Hope you're doing well. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you, Ayushman. I appreciate that. Timmy says, Mehran, why do we take breakups as a judgment of our values? That we go to any extreme to try and get back from the ex? Very good question. Because your whole life is set around pleasure, and you gauge yourself by the amount of pleasure you receive, which part of that is the recognition, affirmation of others around towards you. And because relationships have an important pleasure center in there, which lots of it comes from the intimacy. sex. And that is a huge, most important pleasure that many of us are focused on in our life. So when that relationship breaks up, with it, the sex, the intimacy, the pleasure of intimacy goes away with it, which with it takes away the notion of our qualification, our worth and value. That's an indication for the quality of our life through pleasure. We gauge our lives, unfortunately, mistakenly, by the amount of pleasure we receive, and the biggest one is through a sexual pleasure, which is in a relationship. When that severs, we think we have lost and been rejected in the value that we thought we had. And that doesn't stop there. We now think it is not just us that have been rejected. We don't really even care about that much, 100% about the woman. I'm talking about one kind of relationship right now. You just fix it for your own type of relationship. We don't think that much about the woman, the fact that she's left us and we're rejected. We think our sperm has been rejected. Our future, our ability to procreate, our importance to be accepted as the alpha top dog seed. That's the misconception that we have. We mix it all up. We think it is my seed, it is a representation of me, my center, my existence, the me, my sperms, my seed that is now rejected, which is my place, how I find my place in this world, which is of course mistaken. We're all accepted by this life. We're all important in this life. We have our place in this life. We make our mark in this life. We make differences to many millions of people that we don't even know in this life by just being here. That is our importance. But we don't realize that. We think our importance is if we have an accepted, reciprocating place for our ability to procreate. And if a woman, which we are programmed, if you're a heterosexual male, you're programmed to seek and pursue and want woman. If a woman that we are in a relationship with doesn't want us, we feel that our duty, our program to procreate is severed. That is unacceptable, as that is our prime directive. So we feel a little bit insulted. Not that we really want the girl, not that we are insulted. We think our representation to this universe, to this life, our sperms, our seed, our capability to procreate is not respected. So that's why it becomes much bigger than what it is. But if we understand that none of these breakups would have any notion or any indication of your importance of you, your place in this world, your importance and capability of your prime directive for procreation, your sperms, your seed, has nothing to do with any of that, then we'll be fine. But our mind is a negative mind. Everybody's mind has a negative side to it that goes after all these because he wants to protect through the encouragement of ego and program of ego, wants to show that no, that is the alarm that it brings to you in order for you to go and protect what is fictitiously illusory has brought to your mind through the ego, desire of the ego, wants to be the boss, and makes you think that this all means that there is a disrespect to your seed, to your sperm, to your prime directive of procreation because they have been rejected, not you. You don't care about yourself and you don't really want that girl like she's the only thing in this world. You think you do, but it's not. In reality, you don't think that way because soon enough you find somebody better, you go and you'll be fine with it. So that's why you kind of make it more than what it is, and you shouldn't. When you focus on this, you'll see, oh, gee, you know, if it's about your prime directive, you're planting, you're cultivating, and procreating with, like, there's so many wonderful opportunities out there. You know, it's not like it's limited. When you focus on that, then you're fine. But you don't focus on that. You take it all personally, too personally, to your core, because you want to protect the survival, procreation, your mission of being in this world, populating. And it's similar for the woman. When they break up with their man, they go through the same. They think it's their seed that has been rejected. It's their ability to be a mother, to be having their place in this world, which is untrue. They have their place, like what I just explained. Having understood all these, then it puts you at ease that you're still whole, you're still the same, perfect as you ever been, has nothing to do with anything if you go through a breakup, whether you're a girl or a boy. Whatever your relationship is has nothing to do with anything. All right, let's go to, says, oh, sorry. Okay. It's spooky, says Mehran, 27 from California. My ex keeps reaching out to tell me little things she misses from about me. I don't go out of my to speak to her. Go out of your way, I think. I don't go out of my way to speak to her either, unless I run into her. Okay. She always mentions she wasn't ready, or she doesn't know why she didn't feel it then. What's going on here? I've been focusing on myself, but she keeps pulling me back, it feels like. Oh, very simple. Say, listen, I've noticed that you feel uncomfortable and you seem to extending kindness towards me. And so that you will not be confused, or I won't be confused, because I'm moving on and I've understood and respected that you have made a decision, and you know it's your right, and I understand that. But what am I hearing here? What is it that you want from me? Let's have a clear discussion. Are you trying to give me a hint? You expect me to reciprocate? I'm not going to reciprocate anyway unless it's a clear message and effort made by you to make me feel that my feelings can justify to be focused on you. Because right now I don't have any justifications. I've just come to accept your decision and I'm fine. But if there's something here that you want to explore, you got to come out and clearly let me know. I'm not going to be doing the guessing game. And be nice about it and say, of course you're a wonderful girl, but I have lost that contact. So if there's something that you're expecting me, I need to be encouraged to the point that it will arrive to a certain level that I could reciprocate and appreciate your amazing qualities. But it has to be very clear, and I don't know, is it just you being cordial? If that is, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Otherwise, make it clear for me so there would be no misunderstanding. Because I may meet somebody and I don't want to disappoint you, and you may meet somebody, but you've given me certain kind of indications that I would then again feeling like what happened here. I don't want to be, making a guess about what your intentions are. Simple. Get it going. Either way, it's all right. Gavin Singh, double Singh. Gavin Double Singh says, hello Mehran. Hello Gavin, good to see you here. My name is Gavin Singh. Oh, okay, one Singh. I live in Tennessee. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 3-4 years, and we lost connection and not sexually active. She said she need to connect with what? She needs to connect. She wants to take some time to herself and believe me might connect again. I'm not sure what to do. Don't wait for her. Don't turn it into like she decides. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't wait for the one who initiated the breakup to come back, regardless of what the heck he or she says. Move on with your life. Focus on what you need to accomplish. Whether it's some other chances, some other relationships that you're pursuing, or your studies or your job, just focus on your life. Don't make your life dependent on her or his decision to come back or not come back, and who she's sleeping with, who she's not, or is she coming back. Don't give a shit. You don't have time for that nonsense. If they are secure in their own mind, they have clear path of what they want, then they should show it to you. It's not a guessing game. It's not a magician's act. You're not a magician. And if they don't, take it as that they're not serious and move on. Simple. Deal with actualities. Don't do guessing games. Maybe she meant this. Oh, maybe he meant that. Or maybe she wanted me to pursue her. Oh, maybe he wanted to say that she loves me. Just don't. If they are, they should be saying it, showing it. If they're not, then they're not. That's all. You can't be imagining, oh, this is what I should have thought. No, move on. Clear cut clarity. Bring clarity to your life. So don't wait for her. You might be. Don't make that woman decides to break up the relationship, or don't make the guy who decides to break up the relationship with you, don't make them to be, the anomaly, the thing that you should wait for or to go for. That's your destiny. None of that shit. Just, if it's working, reciprocating, both of you on the same level, bonding on consciousness level, understand compatibility, working towards it, loving each other, being positive, being secure, being balanced, then good. If not, and it's not working out, you guys tried, it finally broke up, then move on. If you wanted to work out, it would work out when you were trying to make it work out. Why do you have to constantly guess yourselves? And Destiny says, we broke up many times before. Oh, I see. So it's not once. Well, tell him, listen, it seems to me that you need to figure out what it is that you are missing in life. And perhaps I won't be able to bring you to that understanding. So why don't you go on and live your life? And I do not need to have this kind of uncertainty. And if it was the first time or second time, it would be okay maybe, because people change. But for me, it looks like you have conditioned yourself to be in doubt all the time. And I don't want to be with someone who is in doubt. So why don't you go and try other girls and whatever it is, relationships. And a few years from now, if I'm still available and I still thought that I haven't found anybody better than you, then you may come back, or we may think it through. But this is not something that I would consider a positive relationship. Simple. At least you can get that kind of a moral commitment from him. He may turn out and says, no, I promise you, I will never do that again. And you then say, after the negotiation, it winds down, not that right off the bat. Then you will say, listen, okay, we both seem to be wanting to give it another try. I'm not going to call it that I'm giving you a chance or you're giving me a chance. It's equal. We both try to resolve things. But if it does happen to be your reaction to when things are not going the way that you hoped for, or you have second thoughts, again, one more time, I think you agree that would be fair to say, and it's reasonable of me to say, that would be my cue for not considering this relationship being tried again. And that would be the end of it. If you agree with that, then we can try again. But try to understand each other on consciousness level, our fears, our desires, our ego, what it is that we are afraid of, what we are concerned of, what is our shortcomings. We got to be clear and relaxed about it. Together, build something. Otherwise, you're expecting me to do certain things for you to come up, to solve your whatever it is that concerns you in life, and me expecting you to provide for me conditions and situations where I would feel fulfilled in life. That is why it's not going to work. We each got to do our parts for our own and then contribute to the relationship and try to build something on a good foundation. And that foundation is our compatibility and understanding of each other's consciousness and fears and desires and ego and their role in our personal lives and in our combined relationship life. If we can do that, we'll have a chance. Otherwise, it will always be something that is not hitting right, and you will feel that the answer is into you moving on and I move on, which you've obviously been doing it enough, which you're conditioned to think that is your default reaction to when things are not the way you hoped for. Whether it's your shortcomings or my shortcoming in contribution to the relationship, I don't know, but whatever it is, that's your choice response. That's not going to go well, not just with me, with any woman that you will ever have any relationship, because that's not resolving or solving or making effort to make things change to what we expect it to be. It is just a way to move on from it and leave it behind rather than dealing with it. If you talk with the guy this way, or maybe put this part for him to listen when I upload it again, then perhaps you guys will have a certain kind of a fair and balanced interaction and consideration for what it is that you're facing with in your relationship. Spook. Yeah, I think I answered your question anyhow. She's 30 years old. Yeah, okay. I would love to know that beforehand. Spooky, but that's okay. Yeah, well, I don't know. You gotta decide if she has the qualities that you're looking for, and if you have the qualities that she's looking for. It's a lot there to discuss. Perhaps maybe you want to make an appointment with me and go to my site mindthatseekstruth.com and click on talk to me for consultation. Make a Skype consultation appointment and we'll discuss it further and explore it. There's lots of things in there perhaps, but I don't know where you are and what your intention, expectation from this relationship is. So perhaps you'll be okay with the answer that I give you. But if it's not okay, if the answers are not enough for you guys and you still have concerns, please go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. I'm one Skype talk away. Just make an appointment and then the system will take you through its process, and then we'll chat and explore what concerns you on Skype, which I do that all around the week with people around the world, and talk one-on-one and privately and discuss your concerns. Because in here I can only talk, if I want to elaborately discuss every question here, you know that some of our discussions went on to 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, and of course that's neither efficient for you nor for the whole purpose of being able to answer everybody's question, because then it gets too long and becomes inefficient really, and I run out of tea anyhow. So if you haven't liked the live stream, please go take a moment, click on like. There were at one time 27 people here. I should see at least 27 people liked. Otherwise, then I would say then probably it's not appreciated. Threats are coming in. Now, share the videos that you like on our social media. Make sure you help us to grow and make people understand that there's support available. If you think the level of, the quality of the contents here are extraordinary, then help your friends to know about it. Share the videos that you like and click on the like of the videos that you watch and make comments, hopefully positive, and so that will all help the algorithm of YouTube recognize us a little bit better. And Jack the Ripper, you might want to do something with that screen name. I don't think that's going to represent you well. Says, hello, I'm 29. My ex-wife is 32. We were together 4 years and we broke up. But now she says she never really loved me. Ah, okay. So why would she marry me? That's bullshit. Don't believe it. Or think about divorce 2 months after wedding. Well, these are nonsense. She's trying to knock you down. She says, listen, obviously, when two people want to get married, it's because both think the other one is better. Because nobody in any kind of negotiation in any world would commit to a deal in a normal circumstances unless he or she thinks that what he's getting is better than what he's giving up. If you're trying to buy something, you believe that the merchandise that you're getting worth more than the money or equal to the money that you're shelling out. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that deal if you're a good negotiator, if you know what value is. So when two people actually choose to be each other boyfriend, girlfriend, or get married, is because either one thinks the other one is better. Otherwise, they would not marry. They would not agree to it. It's a given. Regardless of what nonsense 2 years or 4 years or 3 years or 2 months afterwards they tell each other when they no longer, or they have found some kind of a reason or some kind of a whatever it is that to move on or to sever the relationship. Regardless of what they say, that's baloney. So when she turns out to say, I never loved you, that's bullshit, because nobody commits to a marriage if she actually doesn't love, unless she's what, dying from hunger and she's got no food and you can give food. Otherwise, there's no reason. She at the moment loved you. She thought you're a good catch and better than her, and she would have her dreams come true with you. That's why. So whatever she says now, don't believe it. Nonsense. For whatever reason it was, she did love you. Whether selfish reasons or whatever, she did love you. She thought you were better than her. And that's why she wanted to be with you. Now she says what she says because she wants to put you down and make you feel that she's better than you, because she knew and convinced that all along she was not as good as you and she wanted to be with you. And then now that she has somehow found a reason or whatever that she decided to do what she's done, she wants to say, that never happened. So she's actually debating with her own mind. She's trying to kind of fix the way she used to think about herself in her own mind, about herself in relation to you. That's what she's trying to fix by uttering such things towards you, to convince herself that no, at no time you were better than her, because that's how she used to think and that's why she married you. So don't buy into that nonsense. She's trying to put you down to convince herself that she never was in love with you, because right now she wants to feel she was never lower than you, because that's how she used to think. And that's unfortunate, but whatever. That's unfortunate what she's doing now, but whatever. She simply wants to fix things through her memory by uttering these negative things towards you now. Don't believe it. Move on. Say, okay. If you don't have any children, then you don't have nothing to look back. Move on. That's usually the duration of a relationship from thousands of years ago. You know, when human beings, you know, forests, moved out of forests, went to savannas, and they didn't have to look for, you know, at the time they would just settle down, have children, and then after 3-4 years, they would move on to make family with somebody else. That's how it was, and that kind of a 4-year thing is still, in many cases, still there. Naturally, they want to move on. There's no reason about you to think that there's something wrong with you. Excalibur says, holy macaroni, Mehran is in the house. Live from Iceland, better known as Canada. Yes, that's right. It is actually cold. Not that cold. How are you, dear? I'm fine, Excalibur. Thank you very much for asking. How are you? What's been happening with you? And he says, I hope you are well. Thank you. Missed you, and I have my tea ready here. Ah, so you've been here for past 2 hours, and I just got to, or maybe an hour, just got to your comment here. Chinese green tea and honey. Ooh, that's nice. So I have a question, Excalibur says. Is there a difference between missing an ex because of love or missing her because of sex? Yeah, of course. At your age, mostly it's because of sex. Because all the other things, you know, depends how long the duration of the relationship was. Maybe it didn't even come to the stage of love. Because stage of love is not the same as stage of lust. But people who find each other attractive, it's mostly lust. This is not necessarily love yet. It takes time before consciousnesses are binding on that level, and they get to know about each other, a lot more about each other's desires, pleasure, fear, ego, thoughts and consciousness and experiences and conditionings and the psychological security needs and the order and the mechanical process. And it takes time before all that comes to one compatible place, and then they really find love. And people make a mistake. They think because the sex and attraction sexually is not the same as when it was the first days, then that has diminished the love. That is what, then they think that means their love is not as strong as before, because their sexual attraction is not necessarily as hot as it was beginning. But that's totally nonsense, because the more time passes, and if the relationship is good and happy and positive, the love becomes stronger, and sex may not be as strong as before, because that's the way it is. You know, it becomes a normal expectation. You know, it's like when you see someone constantly with bikini on the ocean, and that's the only way you see each other, then after a while that sexual desire toward her, it subsides, because you've seen that all the time. But if you often see her all well dressed up and you don't see much of her, you know, the sexual parts is not revealing that much, then you have that thirst because you haven't had enough of it, and you can't wait till you see her, you know, in an intimate mode. So same thing when you guys are together. After a while, when you share the same room, same, you know, always see each other at comfort zone and everything, there's nothing formal about it, then the sexual urges towards each other may be reduced, not because you guys are not attractive anymore, it's because you've conditioned yourself that this is an expected normal thing, no novelty to it, because there's no modesty to it anymore. Everything is out in the open. And so in a relationship, after a while, that sexual desire may be reduced. But that's not because you guys don't love each other. It's because that's how human being behaves when things are so readily available and open and without proper presentation. That's why it is always good for a relationship to be a little bit modest. Perhaps have separate bathroom facilities, so you guys are always pretty much semi-formal, while relationship is very informal, is very friendly and close. But physically, you will keep that mystery, you'll keep that excitement of seeing each other, you know, Not always, because it's your home, you want to be comfortable, you're living together, but not at least as so, you know what I'm saying. So figure the rest out. Be a little bit modest. So that's why you may think that love is diminished over the years, but that sexual interest is diminished. Love, in fact, may have increased through time. Love increases, but sexual urges toward each other decreases, not because you guys are not sexy anymore to each other, because you've had it without any effort, always out in the open, and you're conditioned to not think of it as an anomaly, as something special. All right. It's no different than having the same food every day, always ready, even though you think it's the most delicious food. But after a while, you've had enough of it, so you don't find it so extraordinary, while the ingredients are still extraordinary. So I think you got the gist of it now. Timmy, are you kidding me? I'm feeling it on my seat. I'm beginning to quickly finish it as soon as I can, because it's too long. It doesn't serve a good purpose, because we can't get deep enough, and at the same time it can go on forever. So David says, maybe you can put your protocol rule first thing in the video description where your website link is. Maybe that's better. I put it all up there where the people, because nobody sees it, it's way up there. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should do that. Okay. Good suggestion. Spooky says, my ex is dating someone while all this is happening too. Forgot to mention that. Well, thanks very much, Spooky. You forget to mention that. Next time you guys forget a detail, I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to say, is this your final answer? Final information. Excalibur says, my sperm has been rejected. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, well, keep laughing. Okay. Gurinder Singh says, Mehran, thank you. One thing in this world, everyone likes you or want to get to know you if you have money or you have the looks. Otherwise, people are not interested. It's all about status. Yeah, it may be. And what kind of tea are you drinking? Yeah, maybe that is the case in most cases. But the thing is, it doesn't last long, because the one that they thought it has money and they came for the money, they can't live with the money. They have to live with the person. They came for the money, but they got to live with the person, find compatibility with the person. And if you go for a girl that is pretty, you went for the pretty, but you can't live and establish relationship with pretty. You have to establish relationship with the consciousness, with the person, with the center of the person, the persona of that human being. And if that's not there, that's not going to last. So whether money, things, or the beauty, all going to stop your interest when it's not combined with the actuality and totality of the person as a whole, not just the decoration or the, the surface, whatever it is, the image that they each have created. All right. Peter says, letting someone else showing their need fears ego. You can see who they are. Okay. Are really be like a solid mirror. Okay. Solid mirror and not wavy like water to see them better. This is what you meant, Mehran. Yeah, I guess pretty much. I don't remember what I said. Letting someone else showing their needs, fears, ego. No, it means clean yourself so you will not be bamboozled by your desire for pleasure, wanting to fluff your ego, and because of your fears, becoming foggy in the clarity of your mirror, so you don't reflect the personality of that person. You can't see all the things that are not right with that person because of your own needs and desires and fulfilling your ego and all that. If you understand the interference of these things in your personality and take care of knowing what your ego is and controlling it, and showing to your ego and desire who the boss is, not that they're your boss, and understand what your fear comes from, then you'd be able to see the true nature of that person based on who they are, not based on your needs for them, need to what you can gain from them. Then you are more aware sooner of that person's quality. I think that's what I meant. Jordan, 27 male, Scotland. Hello again. I can't stop texting my ex. Just take your fingers off of that bloody cell phone and you will stop. That's how you do it. And asking what she's been up to. Don't. Stop that. Stop pestering her. That has, every time, look at it this way, every time you text her, she goes further away from you. Every time you ask her anything, the further away she goes. If you really have any desire, any hope to make this possibly be gravitating towards you a little bit, you're countering it, but every time you're texting her. Just simply focus on your life. Pay attention on your life, to your life. Do not try to find your value in her opinion and interest in you. Do not try to find your value in your desire for her. Do not try to find your value in connection and her opinion about you. Find it in your life according to your accomplishments and according to what it is that you're supposed to be bringing to your life and basing, building your life on that foundation. All right. Stop. Just stop it. You don't have to know. Simply, you don't have to know. What is it that you want to know? You think from one moment to the other, then you have to write and text every moment. Already consider that she's sleeping with somebody else. Simple. Don't talk to her. Don't call her. Leave her alone. If you have any hope for her to actually miss you, don't worry about her. She is a grown woman. She made her decision, and you respect yourself and move on. That's it. Every time you text, she's going further. If you have that picture in front of you, every word you text, she's going further away from you, like you less and less. If you understand that, you will stop doing it. Excalibur says, great answer, Mehran. Also, a channel I'm subscribed to has 25K subs, and they went live yesterday. Yeah, you see? And they actually got less viewers than we do here. Huh, really? I wonder, they went on live 25K subs in one day, and here it is, almost 16,000 after 5 years. So we're doing something wrong. Maybe all I'm talking here is nonsense. Huh? Excalibur says, when an attractive person gets negative thoughts like, do they want me because of my looks or because of me, what would you say to such a person, Mehran? Well, the person should know that being good looking or wealthy is part of the package that he or she is bringing to the field. And would she say, well, I wish I was more good looking to the taste of this person that I want to have a relationship with? If she wasn't that good looking, would he or she not say that I wish I had more money now that I want to meet this girl, it would be better? But why is it that when they actually do have it, they question it as a negative? Well, obviously others would prefer her to be pretty to their taste, because every woman is pretty, depends on who has got that taste or not. And obviously people are attracted to this guy because he's got more capability, and women are interested to know that the man that they are involved in has ability to provide. That's just in the genes from thousands of years ago. A female expected man to be able to go hunt and bring things and protect, and these are the qualities that now they see that in the wealth, in the money that they have. So these are all some of the things that they may help to be attracted to you. But the question is not this. If you ask it this way, the answer is what I just told you. Of course people would prefer if you seem pretty to their mind, and of course people would prefer if the guy is got, the women prefer if the guy has got more money. That would be an attraction of some kind in both cases. But the question is this: would you want them to just want you for money or the beauty? Or maybe I should say it this way: when they come for your prettiness, or when you go for the prettiness, or when you go for the money of the guy, or they come for the money that you have, would that be enough to keep the relationship going? Regardless how pretty you are or how wealthy you are, still doesn't work if your center, if your personality, if you're not a good matching compatible human being. So regardless of what that you're questioning, that it makes you feel uncomfortable because you don't know if they came to you because you're pretty or if they came to you because you're wealthy, regardless of that question, the question is this: even if they come because of that, they will stay because of you, your character, and what you've made out of yourself. Not because of your looks and not because of your money, because neither one of them can keep the relationship together if it is not compatible, if it is not decent, fair, and if it's not of the quality that each may expect from each other's center, personality, who they are, not what they possess or what they look like. So, oh, and Gurinder says, what kind of tea you're drinking today? It's chamomile, which is now cold. Tea, please. No service, what can I say? Maybe someday this channel will be wealthy enough to be able to have tea coming as I snap my fingers, yeah? Not if you guys don't share the videos and don't put the likes and don't encourage, you know, people who are in trouble, and don't wait for the live talks, you know. I may not do it this long every time, and it is not really that effective because I can't really get deep into it sometimes. So let's see. Letting someone else. Okay. Oh, yes, I did. But before I saw this question, Gurinder, I did remember and I did answer it. Chamomile tea. And Petr says, we all know what you say, Mehran, but still default again and again, every one of us. I don't know what you're referring to because I forget. I talk a lot and one question to the next. By the time I get to your question, I've lost the reference, what you're making. But anyhow, as long as you guys get it. Excelsior says, no, Mehran, and it's not because of content quality. It's because it's taboo channel, for lack of a better word, as people are usually shy to admit they are not feeling good in a breakup. It's a, yeah, you're right. Well, look, the sooner they wake up and smell the roses, the sooner they get on their way and feel better. They keep thinking, oh no, I didn't break up. Breakup is part of life. What's the big deal about it? But you're right, it may be. But I couldn't be hiding the word breakup and hope that people who need help for the breakup to come in. I had to say breakup. Damn it! It's about
breakup. It's about your problems, your psyche. And that's what we're here for. You know, if we can't really even truthfully name the problem, how can we truthfully deal with the problem? Honestly. All right. Excalibur says, if you take a look at your Pebble video, which was very popular, you see in the comments many people who are outside of our circle had nothing but praise for it. Some even say it was the most comforting they have ever heard. So that's your proof that content is excellent. Subs are usually high in entertainment channels because, as you know, people like instant gratification. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I understand that, and I know our content is second to none. In fact, we go deep and help people to become their own master and be able to solve their own problem. That's the kind of information that we share. And hopefully, eventually, people find us. But it is really puzzling, X, that I've seen channels come online just a year ago, 2017, and already they have 145,000 subs. And they actually talk semi-nonsense, not helpful, just making it look like that they're saying something. Or just bashing, you know, men bashing or woman bashing, and they have their subs. But I know for a fact that's not going to be long-term help, because what my intention is to help people to be able to help themselves, turn them into fishermen rather than giving them a fish for a day. I want them to know how their psyche, the mechanism of their psyche works, what are at play, what are the influences they receive from themselves, their inner psyche, on their own. Then they become that mechanic that knows inside and out of this engine, and they can fix it. They know by its sound what's wrong with it, rather than, you know, being thrown off. But you're absolutely right. There is no doubt about what you say is correct. Excalibur continues, says, for example, PewDiePie's the most popular channel. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Is far more known than Krishnamurti. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything bad about Krishnamurti. Yes, that's right. Of course, I understand that. Thank you very much for your explanation and comparison. Certainly appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, looks like we're almost there. Let me see what I've missed here while I was following X's. Okay, there's only a few questions here. Petra says, we all know what you say. Okay, yeah, we got that one. And then Petra says, how your life would have been in your 20s and 30s if you would have known then everything that you know now. It would have made a big difference, I think. But I wouldn't be who I am today if I knew stuff then, because then I wouldn't do the stuff that I did in order to. Actually, when I look back, you know, I always say live in such a way that you will enjoy it 2 times. One is when you're actually living and doing that, what you're doing, and the kind of life you are living. And the other one would be in the future when you look back and remember how you lived and what you did. 2 times. 1 action, but 2 enjoyment. 1 when you're actually doing it, 1 when you think about what you did. Both should be pleasant.
So live your life in such a way that you will be proud of what you're doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, and when you think back and remember what you did and how you did. And in most cases, I have that. And I can't ask for anything more. I'm delighted and fortunate to have learned what I've learned, and I hope to be able to help other people around the world. I think I answered that question. No? What happened to your question? Jordan says, thank you. The quicker I stop trying to keep a connection with the ex via text, the faster I will recover. Yes, that's right. Because every time you do that, it's like you're trying to travel a distance with your car to a destination, to an oasis, to a wonderful place, but you keep putting on a brake. Every time you text, you could keep putting on a brake from your advancement to bigger and better places, a better life. You gotta focus on smooth forward motion, moving forward, keeping distance from what it is that doesn't suit you, doesn't worth it, and it's only pleasure-based and nothing else. Move on to your future, and let's see what the future holds. Michael says, how to handle teenage girlfriend. First of all, tell me if you're a teenager or not. And the teenage girlfriend must have no older than a teenage boyfriend, and pretty much the same age, and not even a year older, because that's a teenage life. They are not adult yet, and they should not know and be manipulated by adult thinking. That's why they should be of legal age. If you are over illegal age, you should be with a woman who is over her legal age. So that information is not enough for me to address it, but anyway, considering that you're also a teenager of the same age as her, then just be yourself. Be a gentleman, be a good man, be a good boy, treat her right, respectful, and see what is comfortable for her, and do not impose your will on her. Just take good care of her, make her feel safe, and be a good friend. That's all. X says, my pleasure, Mehran. Always good to chit chat with you. Okay, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Michael says 21. Okay, you're 21 and she's teenager. Doesn't mean she's what, 19, 18, 17? I have no idea. So my suggestion to you is that you just simply date a girl of a legal age and forget the teenagers. So move on to your age level. If you're 21, well, date a girl 20 years old. Or if 19 is legal where you are, then date a 19-year-old. But it has to be a legal age in the neck of the wood that you are living. And then you can expect her to be mature and, match your expectations as you meet her expectations. All right, Excalibur is right. Says time to celebrate, Mehran, or hit the gym. Yeah, well, it's time for me to hit the gym, that's for sure. 3 hours, 13 minutes, 29, 30, and so on. I thank you very much, guys, for giving me time to spend this time to share certain viewpoints with you. I love you all. Again, I look forward to talk to you again, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. Usually on weekends, I try to have these talks starting from 12 or 12:30, or maximum 1 o'clock, midnight, not midnight, p.m. afternoon. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it, and go have some tea and relax. Have a wonderful evening or day, depending wherever you are. Don't forget to promote the channel as best as you can, and be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.